How are you doing? Like a lot of men when they get to my age, I'm 50. And when I first turned 50, I thought to myself, how am I going to come up with stories to tell people? And I was listening to Claire Byrne on the radio one morning and it hit me. Because she was interviewing the famous Seanachaí Eddie Linehan. And Eddie explained that the way he comes up with stories is he gets out of his mind on hallucinogenic drugs. And I thought to myself, well now that's not a bad idea. So, I was away with work in Amsterdam about 6 months ago and I had a couple of hours to spare before I was due to get on the plane. So I said, I'll go up to Hill Street Blues and get a joint. So I went into Hill Street Blues and ordered a pure brass joint, Northern Lights if you know it. And I smoked that and got a bit of a buzz and I ordered a drink and then ordered another joint. Now I should preface this. I used to live in Amsterdam back in the 90s. And back then the grass was a lot milder than it is now. In the intervening years it's got a lot stronger. A lot stronger. Fucking lot stronger. So by the time I got the train to Schiphol, I was pulling a full-on whitey. And when I got to airport security, I was like a monkey doing algebra, wandering around with my shoe going, where do I put the shoe now? And where do I go after that? So when I got on the plane, I just sat on the seat, put my head back, and passed out asleep. And the next thing I knew, the stewardess was shaking me, going, Alsjeblieft, kon Sie Ihnen helfen? Alsjeblieft, kon Sie Ihnen helfen? I looked up and said, what? She said, sir, you're awake. There's a problem with the plane and we all need to concentrate to try and lift it up into the sky. You see, we are on the ground and the plane needs to be up in the clouds so we can go to our destination. I said, what? I looked out the window and there was no wing and no engine. So I looked out the far side and there was no wing and no engine there either. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no wings and engines on this plane. It's never going to fly anywhere. And she said, what for don't? You seem to know quite a lot about airplanes. Perhaps you might speak with the captain. You see, between you and me, I do not believe he knows very much about flying. So, I stepped out onto the aisle between the seats and put my foot down. Splodged into something. And I went to walk forward and the other foot splodged. So I splodged my way all the way up the aisle towards the cockpit. But when I got to the cockpit door, it wasn't a door. It was like a bead curtain full of multicoloured beads. And when I touched them, they instantly turned into fireflies that throbbed and pulsed and swarmed and formed an archway. And I walked in through the archway into the cockpit. But inside the cockpit was not what you might expect in a cockpit. What I found, instead of levers and switches and a dashboard readout, was a Belfast sink. And the captain was leaned over washing socks in it. And I said to him, sorry, you want back there asked me to come up and tell you how to fly a plane. And without looking up, he said, would you not heed that woman? God forbid me, she's a lovely woman, but she is away with the fairies. So I said, all right, okay. Then I stopped for a minute and said, wait, hold on, what the fuck is going on? There's no wings and engines on this plane. What's going on in the cockpit here? There's no controls or anything. He said, you do not have to tell me that. You do not need to tell me that. I have spent my entire life trying to become a captain. You know, I had to work 3 jobs when the children were little to put myself through flight school. I didn't see them grow up. And when I qualified as a pilot, I had to travel the world getting enough flight hours to become captain. They're now a stranger to me and I barely know them. My marriage is broken up, but yet, when I got enough hours to captain my own plane, I ended up in this place. And you have seen for yourself, there are no wings, there are no engines, the aisle in the cabin is made out of licorice, that door is, well, the door is amazing, but still, it's not what you're expecting in an airplane. And look here in this cockpit, there's no controls, nothing for me to use. And the irony of all of that, the irony is... And then he took a step towards me and he leaned in. He leaned in kind of too close, about an inch from my forehead, and stopped and said, you heed me now. Listen to this. I have taken my life extremely seriously. I have taken my job extremely seriously. And the irony of it all is that this plane that I am now captain of, this thing, this life, is nothing but a ridiculous joke. And that joke has been on me. And I thought to myself, geez, I better write that one down. Eddie Lennon was dead right with what he said on the Claire Byrne show. The secret to storytelling is hallucinogenic drugs.